It's time for regular show again. If you're a person who loves cartoons, chances are at one point you've enjoyed watching regular show. Everyone knows the characters, they go on crazy adventures, and sometimes they even die. It's known by millions and loved by millions more. So then why do people say they hate these episodes all the time? Real talk, regular show is one of the most beloved cartoons of all time. The show is super iconic and full of memorable moments, so don't get it twisted, okay? This show has an overwhelming amount of bangers, but turns out, when you really look into it, it also has its fair share of absolute stinkers. Seriously, some of these episodes can be very hard to watch. Is there anyone that likes these? So because we're all masochists here and love torturing ourselves by watching cringe and literal garbage, today I'll be taking a look at and recapping 2 of the most hated regular show episodes of all time. I've looked at 4 of the lowest rated episodes ever made already, but according to the comments you guys left, I have yet to see the worst regular show has to offer. My PC was on the verge of blowing up the last time I watched this show, which you'd think would be a sign to stop watching immediately, but what can I say? I'm a man of the people. And I'm curious. Anyway, let's jump right into it. So grab your copy of Super Mario Sunshine, the most regular game I could find. And without further ado, let's watch what seems to be the most hated regular show episode of all time. This first episode that everyone seems to hate is called The Unicorns Have Got to Go. Sounds like a quest in Borderlands 4 or something. Too bad no one's ever played that game before. Our story begins at a coffee shop where Mordecai and Rigby are hanging out. Mordecai's a bit distracted by the girl working at this coffee shop, who he also happens to have a crush on. Her name is Margaret. People either really love her or absolutely hate her, but we'll get to that later. Rigby, on the other hand, is just happy to be spending time with his best friend.
Nothing beats drinking Joe with my bro.
Get your friend like Rigby, because that dude would definitely catch a grenade for you. He's the best. It is what it is. I always found it funny that Rigby was a raccoon because he also happens to be the absolute goat. This is when a nearby TV shows an ad for a cologne called Dude Time for men. Apparently, if you spray yourself with this stuff, women just won't be able to resist you. So naturally, Mordecai daydreams of that exact scenario. He sprays himself and the girls just spawn in like they're hostile mobs on an old PS2 game. And of course, Margaret shows up and says that he smells nice. Shout out to people who smell nice. You guys rock. After snapping back to reality, Mordecai really wants to buy the cologne, but Rigby is actually kind of mad about this. You see, Rigby wants to spend time with his bro and not some icky girl he's never met before. This is a season 1 episode, by the way. We find out that Rigby would rather Mordecai spend his money on a new video game called Strong Johns. Not even sure what this game is about, to be honest.
We're the Strong Johns!
Mordecai decides to buy the Dude Time cologne anyway, though, and Rigby is now in peak anger mode. On one side, Rigby's valid because the two made plans to hang out, and it isn't cool that Mordecai is switching up the plans randomly. But on the other side, Mordecai and Rigby are basically glued to each other at all times, and if the dude wants to go somewhere to like buy something, that's fine. Like, why is that a big deal? So a bit later now at the park, Mordecai has this new cologne and sprays it on. Rigby shows up and talks some trash because he doesn't like that he's doing this, I guess. He tries to gaslight Mordecai into hating himself. It's great stuff. How relatable. A character named Pops briefly shows up and smells Mordecai, and for some reason, he immediately breaks down to tears and then runs away in world record pace. Mordecai, having a massive big brain, as birds do, decides to spray even more onto himself. But then, instead of instantly attracting Margaret, or any woman as advertised, a random unicorn shows up and sniffs the hell out of Mordecai.
What do you got there?
Dude time?
Oh, I knew it!
Oh, hell yeah. I recognize that masculine dude smell anywhere. This unicorn's gonna be a problem, isn't he? After getting hyped from sniffing the new cologne, the unicorn then calls upon a bunch of other unicorns, and before you know it, our 2 main characters are surrounded by like 6 or 7 unicorns. I quickly want to mention that these unicorns aren't your usual fluffy and magical type. These ones are all dudes, and they all act like a bunch of modern frat boys, and also for some reason, they're all dressed like emo rock kids from the 80s. It's like someone had 2 RNG wheels and just picked the first option that landed on both. These unicorns pretty quickly take over this entire episode, which is mostly why people hate it, to be honest.
Can I bum a spray?
The unicorns ask to hang out, to which Rigby actually says yes because he's a bro and wants to be with the bros, while Mordecai still wants to try to impress Margaret. Mordecai is pretty confused on why the cologne isn't attracting any girls, which is when one of the unicorns explains that Dude Time isn't used for women, it's used for the bros. I'm not really sure what any of that means, but I'm pretty sure Mordecai isn't getting any ladies and just got scammed out of $100. Anyway, for some reason, the unicorns randomly decide to help out Mordecai with his girl troubles. Every unicorn is a woman expert, as you can tell by this flashback of moments that totally aren't made up at all. I will say this episode portrays the whole bro culture persona extremely well. You know, the type of dude that doesn't pick any female characters in video games because, quote, she's a girl. That's cringe. That's something someone actually told me one time. I'm not kidding. Later, back outside the coffee shop, the Unicorns make Mordecai drink some knowledge water. This sounds like it would be very enlightening if Mordecai didn't immediately spit it out. The guys were just pulling a prank on Mordecai. The drink is actually something called the Unicorn Slump. Yep. It's exactly what you think it is. The Unicorns say it was just a joke, so they give Mordecai some hair gel, since women love guys that have greasy hair, apparently. The hair gel, by the way, looks exactly like the stuff he drank like 10 seconds ago. No way he's just rubbing that on his head. Mordecai, with a new look, walks into the coffee shop and tries to speak to Margaret, but it doesn't go super well.
Mordecai?
Never mind about what I said earlier. Rigby is not being a real bro right now. I'm totally expecting the next episode to be about Mordecai getting radicalized or something insane. Mordecai stutters a bunch and fumbles Margaret hard. He leaves the coffee shop to confront the Unicorns, and they say the best thing to do in a moment like this is to party hard. More true words have never been spoken before. We immediately cut to nighttime when there's now a massive party at the main house. There's a bunch more Unicorns that show up, and they cause all kinds of chaos. They break stuff and they get drunk. Why on earth did they dress like this? Mordecai doesn't understand how any of this helps him get Margaret's attention, yet Rigby still defends the Unicorns in all their actions.
They got you a lady.
That's not a lady.
Pretty soon, the Unicorns get completely sloshed and don't even try to hide their intentions anymore. They don't care about helping anyone, they just want to party to some banger music. They hit Mordecai real hard, and even in this moment, when everyone is laughing at him, Rigby still takes the side of the Unicorns when he offers to help Mordecai up, but then says, "Psych!" and leaves him on the ground. Throughout this entire episode, it's really obvious that Rigby has sided with the Unicorns for some reason. All the pranks and crappy comments, Mordecai feels betrayed by his best friend because he's just standing there menacingly. Mordecai's had enough, so he leaves the party, but things only get worse from here. You see, the Unicorns break Rigby's trampoline, so now Rigby immediately doesn't like these guys, cause breaking stuff is super fun, but only when it's not your stuff getting broken, turns out. The Unicorns randomly have Benson tied up and forcefully turn his handle and eat his gum. That's gum with a G, by the way. The Unicorns spray Rigby in the face with soda and then take turns farting on his face, cause why the hell not? And turns out we have yet another classic case of TV show torturing their main characters for some reason. I'm not sure why cartoons seem to do this all the time. Does anyone like torture episodes? They feel so mean-spirited to me. Anyway, Rigby realizes that he's been a bad friend, so he apologizes to Mordecai outside. It takes a while, but Mordecai forgives him because these two are awesome and love each other, actually. Mordecai and Rigby go see a character named Skips on what to do about the Unicorns, to which Skips simply says,
Drag racing.
This ending part happens pretty quick, but in the end, Mordecai and Rigby challenge the Unicorns to a race. They bait them into going really fast onto a ramp, and then Benson shows up, presses a button, and the Unicorns blow up, I think. The next day, Mordecai and Rigby are forced to clean everything up, and there isn't really a satisfying ending because the episode just ends. And that was one of the most hated regular show episodes, apparently. Was it really that bad? The hate from this episode obviously stems from the Unicorns, who just beat up and torture the main characters whenever they can. I actually don't think it's a horrible episode. I don't think it's unwatchable, but it does feel kind of weird for a regular show episode. Like, usually there's some kind of point to the chaos at the end, but mix the lack of jokes with what feels like side characters being the main focus, and you get an episode most people just kind of dislike. I wouldn't be surprised if you said you didn't hate this episode, but let's be honest, this is no one's favorite, okay? There's no way. But more on that later, because despite the hate this episode gets, it's still not the one that people hate the most. And actually, it's nothing compared to this next one, because according to all of you, this next episode is the hardest episode to watch ever. Let's quit stalling and now watch what's known to many as the most hated regular show episode of all time. But wait, what's this? Today's sponsor, Giraffe. Imagine you're just chilling, playing video games on your phone like you always do, but instead of wasting your time, you're actually getting paid for it. It's called Giraffe, and it's a free gaming rewards app that literally pays you to play. No credit cards, no hidden fees, no scammy ads. Just download the app, play super popular mobile games, and start earning real rewards. Over $10 million get paid out every year, and yeah, it's actually legit. Here's how simple it is. Download Giraffe for free. You give permission to track game progress, but don't worry, worry, they never collect personal data. They aren't annoying like that. Pick from a bunch of top free games. Just play, level up, and your gems will stack up automatically. Then when you're ready to cash out, use PayPal, Amazon, your favorite brands. All you really need is your email, and then boom, rewards are sent. No sketchy hoops, just actual money. It's 100% free. There's no credit cards ever. There's trusted payouts, and they even run daily and weekend promos for extra gems. I've been playing this one game for a couple days now, and I've already earned a bunch of gems that I'll probably put towards, like, I don't know, a Starbucks gift card or something. Free iced coffee for me. So yeah, get paid to play games. Hit the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen right now to download Cash Giraffe, and you'll get up to 3,999 bonus gems just for signing up. Join millions already earning daily, and stop gaming for free when you could be gaming for rewards. Back to the video. This episode that people hate so very, very much is called Dumped at the Altar. Half of you are curious by the title, and the other half of you know what's coming and already clicked off the video. The episode begins with Mordecai and Rigby just drinking some soda on some beanbag chairs. But then Rigby breaks rule number 1 of the unspoken bro code as he asks Mordecai how his relationship is going.
So, how are things with CJ?
Oh god, this is gonna be a hard watch. I've heard so much about this one specific scene from you guys. I don't know if I could do this. To give everyone context on what's going on here, since it's kind of important, Mordecai spent the first 4 seasons of regular show having a crush on Margaret. We literally just saw this in full effect in the episode I just talked about. That storyline gets dragged on, but eventually the two get together and things are good, until one day Margaret decides to leave for college and breaks up with Mordecai, leaving him super anxious and depressed. Eventually though, Mordecai meets a new girl named CJ. She's very cool. She's really adventurous and actually seems to make Mordecai really happy for a bit. The two then start dating and everyone loves it. That is, until eventually Margaret returns from college, still with feelings for Mordecai, thus creating this weird love triangle where despite being the happiest he's ever been, Mordecai doesn't know who he wants to be with. I'll talk more about why people hate that after this episode, because it's kind of a big part, but let's get through this episode first to see why people hate this specifically. Mordecai explains that he's not sure how to feel about CJ, still thinking about Margaret and all that. This is when we find out that Muscle Man, another side character, is having his wedding tonight and everyone's going. Surely nothing horrendous will happen. Mordecai has a quick call with CJ on the phone, but it's clear things aren't the greatest right now. They're still dating, but it's a bit awkward. A bit later, for the wedding prep, we at least get some classic goofy moments, like when Skips brings in a beautiful ice sculpture, only for Muscle Man to karate chop it out of anxiety. But have no fear, because the gang came prepared.
Don't worry about it, Muscle Man. We expected this.
A bit later, when Mordecai and Rigby are setting up the chairs for the ceremony, Mordecai actually gets a call from Margaret this time, and we find out she's attending the wedding as well. There's no real point to this call other than to see how concerned Mordecai looks when he gets the news. They end their phone call, and we at least get one more funny line before the entire episode goes down the drain, apparently.
This is the complete opposite of setting up the chairs.
But now who dropped out of art school?
Mordecai and Rigby are actually well-written characters. They nail it like 99% of the time. Let's hope this isn't the 1%. A bit later, as people are showing up, Mordecai and Rigby run into Margaret. These two compliment each other, and it's awkward. Margaret even asks to get escorted to her seat, which is also awkward. But then CJ shows up, so Mordecai plays it cool and pushes Margaret away, and that's also awkward. Mordecai allows himself to be happy for a moment as him and CJ walk inside the building. The moment is cut short though when Mordecai gets an urgent call from Benson asking to see him. Turns out Muscle Man is having a fit of rage and breaking everything again. Bro just can't control himself. We find out that Muscle Man's dad couldn't attend the wedding, so Muscle Man has been expecting a letter from him that someone can read as a speech in front of everyone. Muscle Man's pretty sure the letter is somewhere at his place, but he forgot it there, I guess. So now Mordecai and Rigby are forced to go find it. Now at his place, turns out Muscle Man lives in Asmongold's streaming room, so it's very difficult to find this letter. While the boys are looking, Rigby notices something's off, so he asks Mordecai if he's okay emotionally, to which Mordecai kind of crashes out and avoids the question. And this is when Rigby reveals that he's actually been in a relationship with a character named Eileen for a couple months in secret. I was gonna make a joke about how he's a raccoon and she's a human, but turns out Eileen is actually a mole person, I think. So I don't know, I guess that makes it a little better. Anyway, Rigby kept this a secret as to not make Mordecai even more depressed, because it's very clear that he's like really sad. There's even some oddly compassionate moments in this when these two have a heart-to-heart for a bit.
I've been really happy, and I think you deserve to be happy too, man.
After the two talk, Rigby gets swallowed alive by a pile of garbage. but then accidentally finds the letter they've been looking for. The two rush back to the ceremony, and it's pretty last minute, like the bride and groom are already on the altar. Muscle Man reads the letter a bit and breaks down into tears, and this is when Mordecai is asked to read the rest of it in front of everyone. I'm not gonna lie, this letter is super thoughtful and exactly what you'd expect a loving father to send his soon-to-be married son. I'm not sure if Muscle Dad is a real character we ever actually learn anything about or not. If he is, let me know his lore. I'm actually kind of curious. But the letter he wrote ends with Muscle Dad saying to always trust your gut, to which Mordecai has an epiphany and reflects on his current relationships. Disclaimer, this is the part that everyone vividly remembers hating. As the speech ends and the wedding continues, Mordecai takes it upon himself to interrupt the ceremony to say some words. He states the visual similarities between the two getting married and how maybe that's the route he should go, obviously a nod to Margaret. He yaps more about how he struggled to find a soulmate and starts pointing at random people, saying maybe any of these could be his true love. Important to mention that the one person Mordecai seems to not point at is CJ. Also remember, no one is here for Mordecai, by the way. This wedding has nothing to do with him. He's totally just like talking for no reason. This all culminates in Mordecai saying that he thinks he's going to finally follow his gut. He says that he's made a decision. No one knows what the hell he's talking about. Mordecai slowly walks up to CJ and in my opinion seemingly about to choose her and finally tell her that he loves her, but CJ, feeling awkward and embarrassed by the whole thing, stops Mordecai mid-sentence and breaks up with them in front of everyone. I think she thought he was going to dump her, so she tried to get ahead of it and dumped him first. So despite not being Mordecai's intentions at all, CJ is left crying and feeling small, all because Mordecai is bad with words and decided that now was the time to make his big announcement.
You didn't even point in my direction.
That's so sad and frustrating as a viewer. Like, we're finally gonna get somewhere with this and it all falls apart. I kind of want to punch something, dude. I want to punch something, dude. Anyway, the wedding finishes and everyone parties afterwards, which is when we see Mordecai saying goodbye to CJ amicably, but clearly they've officially broken up now. Rigby shows up and comforts Mordecai after the breakup. The two share a soda together as Rigby once again is here for his best friend, and the episode just kind of ends. And that was the most hated regular show episode of all time? Why do people always say they hate this episode? Listen, I don't think this episode's bad in the traditional sense, but it's really good at making people feel frustrated and annoyed at the show itself. On one hand, this is one of the most emotionally draining episodes in the series, and for good reason. We get a deeper look on Mordecai's love life and how his mental health has been affected by it. We also dive into indecisiveness and toxic relationships, watching Mordecai fall back into the same patterns that always cause his relationships to fail. He finds himself feeling guilty, nostalgic, and confused every time and self-sabotages any happiness he gets without fail. That alone is kind of a powerful thing, and I actually commend the writers for getting that detailed with something like that. But on the other hand, this episode also kind of spits in the face of every long-term regular show fan, since at this point it feels like Mordecai's entire love arc is for nothing. There's zero payoff to any of this. Everything is a bit awkward, and it directly takes away what most viewers wanted to see the most. Even though I do think there's a lesson to learn, it paints Mordecai as still broken, immature, and kind of just unlikable. Margaret, a character most people liked before, feels very manipulative, like she's showing up just to cause issues. And if you're just a casual viewer who isn't interested in any of this and just likes the goofy stuff that these guys do sometimes, you didn't even get that, because this episode has a surprisingly serious and depressing tone almost the entire time. It's just kind of a weird episode all around. But the question is this the most hated regular show episode ever? Honestly, probably. Doesn't mean it's bad, but probably. I think it makes people feel uncomfortable, which obviously we associate with being not a good thing. But at the end of the day, this episode is art in its purest form. It doesn't matter whether you love it or absolutely hate it. As long as you feel something, it's done its job. I'm also just some random guy on the internet, and it's probably not that deep. Who cares what I have to say? But if you can, please leave a like and comment on this video. It helps me out a ton. You can also hype the video on your phone, which does something, probably. If you want to support me further, you can click the join button on my channel and become a member for as low as $1. It gets your username at the end of all my future videos here, and it'll get you other perks like custom emojis, access to my Discord server, which is about to launch, and full episodes and movie reactions. I'm working really hard to make those perks all worth it. Thank you for your patience. It's all happening very soon. Shout out to all my current members for supporting me. I appreciate you guys all so much. Paul Abdul scores this one a solid kinky unicorns out of 5. And yeah, thanks for watching.
I've been really happy.
Can I bum a spray?